feel, mighty Megatron?
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out the Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Thundercracker. Based on the original 1986 animated movie, this is an update that has been a long time coming. The original Studio Series Starscream was unfortunately just a reissue of the War for Cybertron version, which already was just an upscale of the Universe Starscream that originally released in 2006, making it to begin with extremely outdated. And with the Studio Series line only having recently released an all-new Megatron, it was only a matter of time before we saw an update for the Decepticon Seeker. So, as we whack up an image of how he appeared in the original G1 cartoon, visually he's not only looking to be incredibly close, but also a huge improvement in comparison to the previous Thundercracker. Honestly, as we head into the 40th anniversary of the 86 movie, we are now seeing updates that are so good that in the future, I really don't see how they'll ever improve. Take the 86 movie Dinobots for example. They are simply the definition of a mainline masterpiece, and outside of a few hollow joints, are near perfect, with this guy being no exception. The head sculpt and entire upper chest are incredibly faithful to how he appeared on the show, and proportionally, I think they nailed it. His chest is tighter, with the colours being considerably more vibrant to better match up with the action animation model. Easily, one of the biggest differences in comparison to the previous version would be the lack of surface detail. We're used to these 86 movie characters having a certain amount of greeble sculpted into the design, and honestly with that lacking, it does kind of make him come across even closer to the masterpiece. And as we spin him around to the back, and again compare him to how he appeared on the show, this is surprisingly one of this figure's most impressive angles. Unlike the previous version, this Thundercracker does an amazing job in really cleaning up the nose cone of the jet, which was easily one of my biggest complaints. The only other thing worth mentioning would have to be the side fins. In order to create such a clean look, the design team have slightly cheated in making these detachable. But besides that, this without doubt is the most screen accurate mainline Thundercracker based on the animated movie. A fantastic equivalent to the Studio Series Megatron, and will now likely become the gold standard for the character for many years to come. Blasting through the accessories that Thundercracker includes, up first are his two null rays, detachable side fins, then finally the tips of his wings, meaning that there is some slight assembly required straight out of the box, so be sure not to throw these out. As for the null rays, these have been completely decked out in paint, as they are actually completely clear plastic, meaning that with the exception of attaching them onto his shoulders, I definitely wouldn't recommend trying to force them into the hands. The only other thing worth mentioning would have to be that unfortunately this new Seeker doesn't appear to be compatible with the accessories included with the Coronation Starscream, which is honestly a slight shame, as that now means that figure is completely redundant. Diving into this guy's articulation, not only is he visually a major improvement in comparison to the Earthrise version, but also a contender for his masterpiece counterpart. So to begin with, the head is on a ball joint. This can look up, down, and rotate left to right. The shoulders can kick forwards, backwards, and completely out to the side. The biceps can spin, with the elbows able to bend. The hands can rotate, with the waist able to spin left to right. The hips can kick forward, then completely out to the side. The thighs can rotate, with the knees able to bend. Then finally, his ankles can tilt. So definitely a major step up in comparison to the previous Thundercracker, with the waist joint being by far one of the biggest improvements. But to see how deceptive this guy really is, let's now put him through the pose test. Firing through some robot mode comparisons, and going in order from tallest to smallest, up first is the Studio Series Leader Class Megatron, which is arguably one of the most important comparisons, seeing as in the future we are undoubtedly going to see this guy repainted into Starscream. And I've got to say, to kind of go back to my earlier point, we are truly entering the golden age of Transformers. In comparison to the designs of these characters released only 5 years ago, these two look equivalent to a masterpiece. The Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Soundwave, and I've got to say that between these two updates, Thundercracker is easily the better between the two. Then the Transformers War for Cybertron Thundercracker, which has definitely served us well over the past few years, but without doubt there is most definitely a new Seeker in town. Voyager Class Hot Rod, Deluxe Class Devastation Optimus Prime, then finally the 86 movie Bumblebee, who honestly I think should have been much better. Commanding the way into this guy's transformation, despite visually being a major improvement, the engineering really isn't too dissimilar to the previous version. So for the first step, pop open the forearms to allow clearance for the hands to slide inside. With that complete, we can now snap this back into place. You'll now take the torso and shift this back to allow the nose cone to extend and the chest plate to detach. You'll now take the hip skirts and fold these up, with the forearms sliding inside and the chest plate snapping on top. With that complete, we can now fully extend the nose cone, then slide it back until it snaps into place. As what you'll now do is spin around to the back of the legs and pop open these panels, to allow the thigh to slide inside until these also snap into place. With the same now done for the second side, we can take these panels and reattach them. As what you'll now do is combine these directly down the middle. You'll then take this panel, slide it back until this also snaps into place. We can now take the wings and slide these back. You'll then take the back wings and attach these into place, with the tips of the feet snapping down and these wings folding to the side. Then finally fold the landing gear to the front, and that is the transformation now fully complete. Decimating his way through the battlefield of Autobot City, here is Thundercracker now fully transformed into his jet mode. And as we whack up an image of how he appeared on screen, yet again he's looking to decimate the previous version. Front, side to back, he's an incredibly faithful recreation of his animated counterpart and looks to be solid from nearly every angle. Even from the underside, this version is strikingly close to his animated model, with my only minor complaint really being the visible feet. This is the one area that I think the previous version handled slightly better. With that being said, this Thundercracker even has an opening cockpit and this time round actual landing gear. I guess you could also mention this hollow void not looking the best, but to be fair, seeing as it is on the underside, is honestly something that you're hardly going to notice. Even the null rays are still blast effect compatible, giving him the ability to blast through his enemies. Scrambling our way through some vehicle mode comparisons, up first is the Voyager Class War for Cybertron Thundercracker, the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Megatron, Deluxe Class Devastation Optimus Prime, then of course the 86 movie Bumblebee. So, wrapping up on this review for the Transformers Studio Series Voyager Class Thundercracker. When in robot mode, the figure is simply a mainline masterpiece. He looks exactly how he appeared in the original cartoon. Alongside Megatron, Starscream was a character I was hoping the most to be updated, and I think it's safe to say that they absolutely delivered. Even the articulation is a huge step up, with the included waist joint being something that even the masterpiece was lacking. His jet mode is also incredibly solid, with it arguably being even better in comparison to again the previous version. Despite not being completely blown away by the Studio Series Soundwave, Thundercracker is absolutely a return to form. If there is only one figure to choose from heading into 2026, then it most definitely has to be this guy. But I would love to get your thoughts. Be sure to sound off below and let me know. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Transform and roll out!